Hey there, all craft beer lovers. Yep, another beer review. And I think we have a little bit of an interesting beer on the table tonight, guys. For this review, we are returning to Thisted Bryghus from Denmark, Thisted Brewing House, and we're taking a look at this quirky beer, Jack and Beer. Beer with American whiskey. On the rocks, they say. Coming in at 8% ABV in a 500ml bottle. Brewmaster Antoni AM, they say. There is the beer news of the year 2016, aged on American wood and with lava rocks. There you go. That sounds really quirky, right? So back here they say that they have basically, it's in Danish. They have added genuine American bourbon whiskey and aged it for 3 months on wood, oak wood, and with even more caramelized lava rocks. Contains water, barley malt, sugar, whiskey, and hops. Now that sounds absolutely like a really crazy beer. Jack and Beer. Can that be a thing? I don't know. Let's get this one cracked open, guys. See what we get. There's the there we go. There's the Thisted Bryghus cap. I'm really excited for this one. Let's give it a spin. See what we get. Lot of smoke on that bottle opening. A ton of smoke. There we go. Right. Let's see what this one brings to the table. I'm really excited. So there you go. What do we have? Basically 1 finger's worth of a kind of a light brown head, small bubbles on top. Look at that. Now it's got a really nice kind of very dark amber color to it. A lot of light bleeding through, of course, but it's a really nice dark brown, dark amber colored beer. Looks really good. Onto the nose. Let's see what this one brings to the table. I'm really excited for this one. There's definitely a strong malty sensation on the nose. Yeah, almost like a little bit of fudge. Yeah, malt, fudge, maybe a hint of caramel lurking about in there. Yeah, a little bit of darker malt for sure. I don't really get any whiskey on the nose, not yet anyways. For me, I would say the dominating parts here are the malts, dark malts, fudge and caramel on the nose. Touch of sweetness to it. But I mean, it smells good. So with that said, guys, let's dive in and see what we have. Jack and Beer. Cheers. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on here. Again, I'm going to have to go for a second sip, guys, right away. Okay. So it's definitely a dark beer, dark ale of a kind. You got hints of caramel and fudge in there for sure. You got woody hints as well. A lot of woody hints. But do I detect any genuine American bourbon, as they said back there on the label, or even Jack Daniels? I don't know if they added Jack Daniels. I mean, and of course the whole thing with is Jack Daniels a bourbon? That's kind of a little bit of a controversy in and of itself, right? Which we are not supposed to go down that road in this review, because this is about the beer. But I don't think they have. I don't get that typical bourbon taste to it. I really don't. I have to go again. It's really a quirky beer, but I mean, it's not unpleasant, not at all. Again, before we start to dissect it. There's something in there. There's definitely caramel and fudge. Very fudgy. There's a lot of fudge notes there. I get some dry oak as well. Kind of a caramelized woodiness to it. But there's something more in there. It's really hard to define, guys. It's really, really hard to define. Is it bourbon? Nah, not really. I don't really get much of that, of the advertised bourbon. But I do indeed get the oak barreling here. I do get that oak, a little bit of caramelized vibes, fudgy vibes, caramel vibes. Big on the malt. Almost like with a sweet sensation on the palate. Almost with a little bit, a tad stickiness as well on the tongue. Very interesting, guys. For me, final sip. It's an interesting beer. It's a really, really quirky beer. Something of an oddity. In spite of me missing that bourbon that they advertised on the label, and they do call it Jack and beer. So I mean, they're just making a big number out of that with the Jack Daniels or bourbon or whatever mixed with beer. Don't really get that. But I do get some really pleasant fudge vibes, caramel vibes, caramelized dry oak, oak tannins in there, and a lot of strong dark malts. With a little bit of a pleasant bitterness on the tip of my tongue at the back end. For me, guys, it's an oddity, a fun beer, pretty good beer, fun, good beer, but an oddity. For me, it's something of a, mostly a fun beer, right? A cool beer, an interesting beer. I'm going to give this one a 3.75 out of 5. If you like some odd beers, oddballs beers, try it out. Jack and beer. Thisted Bryghus, 8%. No hint of that alcohol. 3.75 out of 5. Thanks for watching.